Hey guys, so yesterday at Xbox's E3 event, they revealed a new trailer for Borderlands called We Are Mayhem, which brought up a ton of new questions we have about the universe and lore. So I wanted to break down a few. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at HaterHype, and let's get right into it. Number 1, if Tyreen Calypso takes your siren powers, does the person she give them to become a siren, or is a new siren created? So when the trailer starts with Lilith giving us some dialogue saying that there are 6 sirens in the universe and she used to be one. This has already been highly speculated that Lilith does lose her powers early in the game from Tyreen and doesn't become a siren again. Now the more interesting question is, does the universe try to correct this by creating a new siren? Does the universe basically see Lilith as dead and now there's one less siren so it needs to make another? Or when Tyreen takes the powers, if she passes them on to, say, her brother Troy, and this is how he gets his siren tattoos, does now he count as one of the 6 sirens in the universe? Creative director of the game was actually asked this by IGN, and this was his response.
In the first reveal trailer of Borderlands 3, we see Lilith kind of struggling as she crawls towards a vault key that's just laying on the ground, missing her siren runes. But early in the trailer and at that same time, we see one of the Calypso twins with siren runes, and generally sirens are female, but now we've got this Calypso twin male with siren runes on his arms. Is that indicative of like her powers being siphoned and like taken and moved to him by some sort of siren magic?
You're asking great questions.
Those
are very good questions. And you're right, because in the previous Borderlands lore, 6 sirens in the universe, and they're all female. And we've seen some new ones appear over time. Of course, we have a player character siren every game, and then we've seen some sirens depart. You know, Angel in Borderlands 2 was a siren. It was revealed. Spoilers, again, 7-year statute of limitations on spoilers, right? It's good. We're good. But and so we're mixing it up again. You've asked some really good questions about the Calypso twins, the villains in our game, Troy and Tyreen. There's some things that are usually indicative of siren powers, which are the tattoos on the arm and all of that. But I don't want to go into a lot of detail because, again, I think there's some really good questions. But what I love that we're doing right now is establishing the ground rules for people to remember. In the Borderlands universe, there are only 6 sirens at a time, and they have been all female up to this point.
And he really didn't give us anything about this, but he is really keen on people knowing how sirens work and the rules of sirens in their universe. So they've already said time and time again that we will get more information about sirens in this game, and that I think this is one of the questions they will be answering, how it exactly works and how Tyreen fits into this universe. Number 2, another interesting question is why Troy has his arm missing. In that same IGN interview, they transitioned from talking about sirens to instead, the creative director said we should be asking questions about why Troy's arm is missing, and that is the more interesting question. Which is kind of strange because I would say it just seems like a visual choice and not a story choice. I do have some ideas about this though. We know Troy is sick or dying. This was confirmed in his lore, and we heard leaks about it all the way back, and that he needs Tyreen to help keep him alive. She either passes him some of her energy or takes people's life force and gives it to him, that sort of thing. And I think this could be because, as I said before, that we do see Troy with all the tattoos and he's not a siren. And Troy being a male siren kind of blows all this out of the water. I don't know if he gets his siren tattoos from getting Lilith's powers or if it happened before, but I think it might have something to do that his body can't handle it. That men are not meant to be sirens, so whenever Tyreen did put the power into him, he lost his arm and his body is slowly deteriorating because of it. Obviously though, there could be a multitude of different explanations as to why this is happening. It could just be something to do with him being Tyreen's twin. She was a siren, so when they were in the womb or something like that, they had some sort of connection, so he got tattoos as well. But I think it could all go back to men are not supposed to be sirens, and it just isn't in their DNA to work like that.
I think the question people should be asking is, why does Troy have his arm missing?
Ooh.
So why does Troy have his arm missing?
That's what people should be asking. Correct.
Yeah,
Well done.
all right.
Number 3, who is the girl with Maya? So we know her name is Ava, and this was one of our biggest questions in the first trailer. We know that she's Maya's protege, which is actually from Gearbox's words, not mine. They are in the same area we saw before that has a lot of temples in the background and has been speculated to either be Maya's home planet of Athena's or another planet maybe focused on Sirens or Iridians. So far, we know this girl has only been seen with Maya and none of the other Vault Hunters, and in this trailer, she's trying to imitate Maya's phase lock ability. It has been speculated from the beginning that this girl could be a Siren, and it seems like she will be used as a ground level character to show off Sirens as kids, how kids get their Siren abilities, how they are found by the Vault Hunters, and kind of the culture of all these different planets and how they treat Sirens. We actually got some more explanation from Paul Sage, so I'll play that clip as well.
We also see Maya with longer hair in the trailer. She looks great in her longer hair. And is she teaching this new character that we don't know about, like a Siren ability? It looks like that's what's happening.
As much as she can, she is. Yes.
So it's kind of coming back along to the Siren trajectory. Is this a situation where like Sirens can be trained, or what else can you go into there? I'm sure there's spoiler territory.
I don't want to go into a lot right now, but again, you're great eyes and great questions. We will confirm, I think Paul said earlier, we were sharing with you, this character's name is Ava, and you'll be learning a lot more about her in the future. And she is Maya's protege, and the game will definitely talk about more about Sirens all the way around. I'm really having to pick my words carefully because I don't want to, there's so much cool to discover here on that. I don't want to give it away, but you've kind of got the gist of it. There's definitely a teaching moment going here, and Ava's not there yet.
And number 4, then we get my favorite clip, and the question is, what are Tannis and Reese doing, and is that a vault key that they're putting together? So to me, it looks like they found a way to create an artificial vault key. When asked about this, Paul Sage said,
but it looks like they're high-fiving, but they're putting a piece together? What's going on with that?
It looks an awful lot like a vault key, but too small to be a vault key.
I mean, size isn't what always matters, right?
All right, okay. As they say.
Yeah, I think that's one of the good things that you've done there. I think you've put together like what may be happening. We're going after vaults, and so yeah, they may be working on something exactly like that.
Which doesn't sound like hunting a vault key or looking for a vault key. He says working on something like that. So they are working on a new vault key. He even mentions that, yes, the vault key does look smaller than ones we've seen in the past, but size doesn't matter. And we can assume that not all vaults open the exact same way and use the exact same key. So having a smaller key could make sense for opening a different vault, opening a smaller vault. There's a lot of possibilities here. And it's putting together two of the smartest characters we have in this universe. Tannis, who knows so much about the vaults in general, the Iridians, how they work. We even see in the first trailer her lighting up that vault key and showing it to the Vault Hunters. So this could be another artificial vault key, which is why these characters can just carry it around, use it when they need it, and then bring it back to Atlas. And it even has that red glow in the first trailer, which could also reflect Atlas. They have that red coloring. Everything they do is kind of red. So a lot of details here, and I think we're finally starting to piece together some of the bigger ideas. And the last question I want to talk about is, who is the guy we see fighting with Hammerlock? His name is Wainwright Jacobs. He is the heir to the Jacobs name and legacy, so the Jacobs weapons we see in Borderlands. Gearbox has mentioned that the Jacobs homestead is on Eden 6, which is where Wainwright and Sir Hammerlock are fighting. Paul Sage did mention that Hammerlock and Wainwright are friends, and obviously the Vault Hunters are going to get involved at some point in the story. He even mentioned that for the most part this guy will be a good guy, similar to how Reese, he's the head of Atlas but still helps out the Vault Hunters, and this guy head of Jacobs but is still helping out the Vault Hunters as long as we help him.
So can we confirm any new characters in this particular screenshot?
Yeah, this is a great one. And again, we're not going to go into a lot of detail here, but since we're kind of showing off Eden 6 this week, this is a great one to bring up because this is a character named Wainwright Jacobs. Now, you might focus on the last name there because he's very important to the story of the game. We talked about earlier how Eden 6 is the ancestral home of the Jacobs dynasty. They have an estate there that you're going to get to see, and there's some cool stuff going on in that. Wainwright is tied up in that. And I won't give you a lot more than there, but he and Hammerlock are definitely friends, and they've got some stakes going on there. And you're going to be able to meet and greet and talk to him and get to know him and figure out how you can help him on Eden 6.
So not all heads of manufacturing of weapons in this universe are all out to get us, out to stop the Vault Hunters. We will have these huge corporations on our side, at least a little bit, which is really cool because we really haven't seen that much, especially with Jacobs. We have barely seen them at all. So with this game now getting Jacobs, more details on Atlas, more details on Malawan. It's really nice that they're finally building out these corporations and we can see more into them and see what happens when these huge corporations actually go against each other, because there is all that lore for the corporate wars that we never really seen and Gearbox really hasn't elaborated a ton on. But that's where I'm going to end this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Those are my biggest questions. This obviously isn't all of them. I love this trailer. It's one of the best ones I think Gearbox has ever put out. But make sure to like and share, subscribe for all things Borderlands, and I will see you guys in the next one.